Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Rhea Ripley is one of the biggest WWE superstars of the recent era. However, she almost quit the company several years ago for a significant reason. After competing for a few years on the Australian independent circuit, Rhea Ripley signed with the Stanford-based company in 2017 ahead of the inaugural Mae Young Classic tournament. However, the Eradicator recently revealed in an interview with Stephanie McMahon on Stephanie's Places that she had a hard time adapting in her early days in WWE. The former Women's World Champion revealed that she started doubting herself and wanted to leave and return to her home country. The first Mae Young Classic, I cried before my match. I was terrified. I just felt like I wasn't doing things to the best of my abilities, and it made people start to doubt me again, continuously getting the criticism and little comments here and there. I felt like I started doubting myself. I wanted to go back to Australia. I wanted to throw my dream away, she said. In the same episode, Rhea Ripley discussed how she was introduced to WWE by the children of some family friends. She disclosed that they gave her a tape of Triple H vs. Ric Flair's Last Man Standing match from Survivor Series 2005. The Eradicator revealed that she felt the game shoving a screwdriver in the Nature Boy's head was cool. So we had these really good family friends, and the kids started watching wrestling, WWE, and they recorded an episode, and they gave it to me. And it was, well, your husband Triple H. He shoved the screwdriver in Ric Flair's head at Survivor Series 2005. I remember watching it as a kid, and I was like, sure, that's cool. I was like, I like that, she said. Despite facing struggles in the early stages of her career, Ripley eventually found success in the Stanford-based company. She is currently booked to compete at WrestleMania 41 in a triple threat match for the Women's World Championship. Ahmed Hamdi is an Egyptian journalist with a decade of experience in sports journalism, specializing in pro wrestling and football. Hamdi kicked off his career as a sports reporter for Al-Ahram Weekly. He then became a producer/reporter for Malmasr TV program on the Egyptian channel on TV. In the following years, Hamdi worked as a reporter for several international news outlets, including Deutsche Welle, Germany, As Safir, Lebanon, and Al Monitor, USA. In 2014, Hamdi joined leading Egyptian newspaper Al Masri Al Yawm, where he is now a senior sports editor. In addition to all that, the Egyptian also worked as a sports editor for Sport 360 and feature writer for Manshore.com. Hamdi has covered several sports events throughout the past few years, including WWE's tour in Egypt and the 2019 African Cup of Nations. The experienced journalist joined Sportskeeda's pro wrestling feature writers team in early 2021. Since then, his work has managed to get millions of reads. In the glitz, glamour, and chaos of WWE, it's easy to forget that the superstars we idolize are human beneath the gear, the pyro, and the personas. But every so often, one of them steps forward, rips off the mask, and reminds us just how real the journey can be. This week, Rhea Ripley did just that. In a raw, emotional clip from WWE's upcoming Chronicle special, Rhea opens up like never before, about doubt, about breaking points, and about the night she almost walked away from it all. It was WrestleMania 36. The world was shut down. The grandest stage of them all had no fans, no roaring crowd, no electric atmosphere, just silence, and a steel performance center. Rhea Ripley walked into the building as the NXT Women's Champion, set to defend her title against Charlotte Flair in what was supposed to be her breakout moment. The future, the next big thing. But behind the scenes, things weren't going as planned. I cried before my match, Rhea says in the documentary. Not because I was scared to wrestle Charlotte. Not because of the pressure. But because I didn't think I belonged. The camera cuts to her lacing up her boots, eyes swollen. A trembling breath escapes as she speaks to herself off mic. "You're not ready. You're gonna fail. You're not enough." At just 23 years old, Rhea was already being positioned as the face of a movement. A powerhouse with attitude, ink, and swagger. An anti-diva in a world still adjusting to the women's evolution. But with every accolade came doubt. "I felt like an imposter," she confesses. "Like everyone else saw something in me that I just couldn't see in myself. The schedule, the pressure, the comparisons to Charlotte, to Becky, to Ronda, it was too much. And I started to believe I didn't belong." The documentary explores her struggles with imposter syndrome, the isolation of the pandemic era, and the mental toll of trying to play catch-up with legends while still finding her own voice. "I remember thinking, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe this was a fluke. I called my mom. I told her, I don't know if I can do this anymore." But just when Rhea was ready to pack it in, something unexpected happened. Backstage before WrestleMania, as she sat in silence, she was approached by someone she barely expected to notice, The Undertaker. "I don't even know why he stopped," she laughed softly, still misty-eyed. "But he looked at me and said, 'You nervous?' I nodded, and he goes, 'Good. That means it matters.'" That simple phrase hit her like a freight train. He didn't try to give a speech or hype me up. He just said that. And I realized, if someone like him still gets nervous, then maybe I'm not broken. Maybe I'm real. It wasn't a miracle fix, but it was enough to get her in the ring that night. And though she would go on to lose to Charlotte, something changed. She stopped trying to become the next someone else and started becoming the first Rhea Ripley. WrestleMania came and went. Charlotte was champion again, and Rhea disappeared from TV. "That was the hardest part," she admits. "I felt forgotten, like I was yesterday's experiment. People online said I was buried done. I almost believed it." She kept training, kept showing up to the PC, but the fire was dim, until a call came from someone unexpected, Triple H. He said, "Are you ready to stop trying to prove people wrong and start proving yourself right?" That flipped something in me. Rhea returned to NXT with a vengeance, and later stormed the main roster with her new mantra, brutality. Gone was the unsure rookie. In her place stood the nightmare, black lipstick, chains, fire in her eyes. She embraced her darkness. She embraced being different. And the fans embraced her back. Her reigns as Raw Women's Champion, her unforgettable rivalry with Asuka, her warpath through the division. It wasn't just a comeback. It was a statement. I belong, and I'm here to stay. Now, as one of WWE's most dominant women's champions, part of Judgment Day, and a beacon for young girls who don't see themselves in traditional molds, Rhea finally feels at peace. "Looking back, I'm grateful I didn't quit," she says, holding back tears. Because the girl who almost gave up, she was still learning. And now she's teaching others that it's okay to break. It's okay to doubt. What matters is that you keep going. The episode preview sparked a massive reaction on social media. At Wrestling Daily, that Rhea Ripley clip just shattered me. Mental health in wrestling needs more of this honesty. At Nightmare Nation, she's not just a champion, she's a survivor. I've never respected her more. At Tough as Rhea, we almost lost her. Can you imagine WWE without Rhea Ripley? Thank God she stayed. Even fellow superstars chimed in. Bianca Belair tweeted, "You inspire more than you know, Rhea. Proud of you." Becky Lynch posted a photo of them post-match with the caption, "The real ones always find their way. #respect. Legacy in progress. The truth is, Rhea Ripley's story isn't just about championships or matches. It's about resilience. It's about facing your demons in the quiet moments when no one's cheering and still choosing to stand tall. It's about crying before your match and walking out anyway, because that's what makes a nightmare. Not fear, not dominance, not wins, but the refusal to quit. And in the world of WWE, that makes Rhea Ripley more than a superstar. That makes her a legend in the making.